Welcome back to our channel India Business Insights. In today's video, we'll dive into India's ambitious move to establish a robust semiconductor and display manufacturing ecosystem, backed by whopping $10 billion in incentives from the government. So why is the Indian government so passionate about this industry? Let's find out. While India announced this plan last year, it has not yet finalized proposals for incentives for any of the three proposals for setting up fabs. In fact, it has now announced a fresh policy for incentives in view of the somewhat tepid response. In March 2023, India signed a groundbreaking Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) with the United States, marking the beginning of a chip supply chain and innovation partnership. This collaboration falls under the framework of the India-US Commercial Dialogue, highlighting the importance of technology in fostering economic growth. Earlier last year, India announced a national semiconductor mission with an intent to set up a semiconductor manufacturing ecosystem. To showcase its commitment to the industry, the Indian government unveiled a staggering $10 billion in incentives for the development of a sustainable semiconductor and display manufacturing ecosystem. The aim of this move was to attract global industry players and establish India as a key player in the global semiconductor market. While three players responded to the invitation to set up large-scale fabs, they ran into various issues. The government has now announced a fresh set of incentives and changed the conditions for the previous set of incentives. The same scheme had also announced a set of incentives for setting up design centers and semiconductor packaging and testing units. While the government received an initial set of proposals for setting up of fab units, none of the semiconductor majors have responded. The government has done a massive outreach with Korean and US semiconductor manufacturers who had also committed their own investments in the US and existing plant locations. The company has now reopened the incentive scheme, and this time it has decided to keep it open till December 2024 as against a very small window of 45 days the last time. So why is the Indian government so committed to setting up a semiconductor industry in India? Why is it so important? Well, there are several key factors at play here. Firstly, semiconductors are the backbone of modern technology, powering everything from smartphones and laptops to cars and medical devices. By nurturing a domestic semiconductor manufacturing ecosystem, India aims to reduce its dependence on imports, enhance national security, and gain more control over its technological destiny. Secondly, the semiconductor industry represents a massive economic opportunity. With the global demand for semiconductors skyrocketing, establishing a robust manufacturing ecosystem in India can create thousands of high-skilled jobs, boost local economies, and contribute to overall economic growth. Thirdly, the government's push for semiconductor manufacturing aligns with its vision of transforming India into a global hub for innovation and technology. By fostering collaboration with the United States and attracting global chip makers, India aims to build a strong foundation for research, development, and innovation, driving technological advancements in the country. In conclusion, the Indian government's passionate pursuit of a sustainable semiconductor and display manufacturing ecosystem stems from a desire to reduce import dependence, bolster national security, seize economic opportunities, and position India as a global technology hub. With the $10 billion incentive program attracting industry giants and fostering collaboration, India hopes to become a major player in the semiconductor market. This is also expected to be the backbone of a very large electronics manufacturing industry. The demand for semiconductors by 2026 is expected to be around $63 billion. By the turn of the decade, this could be well over $100 billion at current growth rates. So, what are semiconductors? Semiconductors, often hailed as the building blocks of modern technology, have revolutionized our world and become an integral part of our daily lives. From smartphones and computers to medical devices and renewable energy systems, semiconductors power the devices and technologies that drive innovation. In this video, we will explore the importance of semiconductors and delve into the distinction between semiconductors and integrated circuits. Moreover, we will take a closer look at India's rich history of semiconductor manufacturing, its pool of talented design engineers, and the unique challenges and achievements of the semiconductor industry in the country. Semiconductors, as the name suggests, are materials that have properties between those of conductors and insulators. Their ability to control the flow of electrical currents forms the foundation of modern electronics. Semiconductors are crucial components in the production of integrated circuits, ICs, which are miniature electronic circuits etched onto a small piece of semiconductor material. ICs are the backbone of electronic devices, enabling the storage, processing, and transmission of information. Now, we are diving into the fascinating history of the computer chip industry and exploring India's ongoing quest to establish its own semiconductor manufacturing capabilities. It's a complex and critical chain that powers everything from our smartphones to satellites, yet only a handful of facilities around the world produce these chips. Unfortunately, India has been heavily dependent on other countries for its chip supply, but that might be about to change. The challenge of dependence. India, a global powerhouse in many industries, currently relies on countries like the US, Taiwan, and Southeast Asian nations to produce its chips. This dependency poses significant challenges, especially for critical sectors such as defense, space, railways, and finance. India has recognized the need to establish its own fabrication foundries, commonly known as fabs, to secure its chip supply and reduce vulnerability to global shortages. Missed opportunities. Believe it or not, India had its chance to shine in the early days of the Silicon Revolution. However, due to bureaucratic hurdles, Fairchild Semiconductor, a key player in the industry, was chased away to Malaysia instead of setting up a fab in India. As cheaper integrated circuits from China, Taiwan, and South Korea flooded the market, local facilities struggled to match global standards, leading to the closure of several units. The lack of government support and promised subsidies also hampered the growth of potential fab initiatives. In a significant development, debt-ridden infrastructure major Jayaprakash Associates (JP Associates) withdrew from the 34,000 crore rupees project to establish an electronic chip plant in India. The project, which was approved by the Union Cabinet in February 2014, aimed to reduce the country's dependence on chip imports. JP Associates cited commercial inviability as the reason for its withdrawal. The company had partnered with IBM and Israel's Tower Semiconductor for the project. This setback meant that India still lacked a semiconductor plant, hindering efforts to decrease electronic item imports from China and compromising national security due to the importance of chips in various devices. Tragic setbacks. The semiconductor journey in India has been marred by unfortunate setbacks. Semiconductor Complex Limited (SCL) in Chandigarh, once at the cutting edge of technology, suffered a devastating fire in 1989, setting back India's progress in the field by a decade. While efforts were made to revive SCL for low-volume chip manufacturing for programs by ISRO, it never reached its full potential. Additionally, the bureaucratic red tape and import hurdles forced a multinational semiconductor company to abandon its operations in South India, eventually leading to the loss of 4,000 jobs to China. Amidst these challenges, there are glimmers of hope for India's semiconductor ambitions. The government's commitment is evident through its recent signing of an MOU with the US, aiming to establish a chip supply chain and innovation partnership to kickstart the development of a sustainable semiconductor and display manufacturing ecosystem. The Indian government is offering a whopping $10 billion in incentives. This significant investment aims to attract global players like TSMC, with rumors suggesting a potential partnership with Tata Group to set up a fab in India. Also, I'd like to mention about a puzzling incident that occurred back in 1989 at the Semiconductor Complex Limited (SCL) in Mohali, India. This incident not only caused significant financial losses but also dashed the hopes of India becoming a global player in semiconductor manufacturing. Let's explore what happened and the findings of the subsequent investigation. In the early 1980s, SCL embarked on a mission to establish itself as a leading-edge circuit and electronics manufacturer with the ultimate vision of fostering a native Indian electronics industry. They had a unique advantage as the rest of the world wasn't too far ahead in this field. SCL began production in 1984 and things seemed promising for India's dream of becoming a global semiconductor powerhouse. However, tragedy struck on February 7, 1989, when a mysterious fire broke out at the SCL facility in Mohali. The fire caused immense damage, engulfing important equipment and facilities estimated to be worth a staggering 60 crore rupees. The incident left everyone in shock and raised many questions about what went wrong and who was responsible. A thorough investigation was conducted to determine the cause of the fire. The report highlighted several crucial findings that shed light on the incident. Firstly, the SCL Employees Union expressed their belief that the fire couldn't be controlled due to mismanagement and a lack of initiative on the part of the Central Industrial Security Force (CISF) unit responsible for security and firefighting. Additionally, a panel headed by a retired Major General from the Defence Fire Research Institute named Mohail conducted an in-depth analysis. The panel blamed the management of SCL for their failure to control the fire effectively. However, it ruled out the possibility of any external sabotage, concluding that the fire was likely the result of an accident or a short circuit. The investigation also revealed serious lapses in the firefighting arrangements at the SCL complex, which contributed to the uncontrollable nature of the fire. Surprisingly, the probe report completely cleared the CISF of any responsibility, suggesting that the blame primarily rested with the management. In conclusion, semiconductors have revolutionized the world of electronics and continue to play a pivotal role in shaping our technological landscape. India's journey in the semiconductor industry has been marked by fits and starts. Even the initiatives of the last year have hit a problem. However, this time around, the government seems to be determined and has announced a modified incentive plan with a growing emphasis on indigenous production, innovative startups, and a skilled workforce. India is poised to become a leading semiconductor hub. As the nation strengthens its semiconductor ecosystem, we can anticipate exciting breakthroughs, job opportunities, and economic growth. We will view in detail the current set of incentives, the initial responses, current challenges these companies are facing, and the new announcements of the government made on 1st of June 2023. Thank you for joining us on this intriguing journey. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with more captivating stories. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.